I gotta get this moved up a little bit. Okay. What do I want to do? Hello, Carol. Okay, guys. So, I have a confession to make. It was really hard to be motivated to work on this live. I just wasn't very motivated. So we're going to struggle through it and we're going to get it done. And we'll learn something. Okay? But we will get through this because we always do. Okay. So, we are doing Conservation Spotlight Ring-tailed Lemur. So to start off, the ring-tailed lemur is endangered. Oh, no, it has nothing to do with that. I just had a day. Population trend for this animal. Or wait, conservation status is endangered species. Population trend is decreasing. I do not have a count of mature individuals. To start with, though, we need to take a look before we can get into the species. We need to understand a little bit about Madagascar. So this animal is from the island of Madagascar, which sits 260 miles off the coast of Mozambique, which is on the eastern side of Africa. So it sits, I believe it's in the Indian Ocean. Madagascar is the fourth largest island in the world and the second largest island country in the world. In 2022, there were 29.61. Sorry if that's not red, right. There were 29 point, hold on. I'm going to round it up. This is how you know that it's not been a good day. There were, rounding up, there were 30 million people living in Madagascar in 2022. 29 million people living in Madagascar in 2022. When in reality it was not that high. It's really not that high. It was around 29 point something million people living on an island that is, see if I can find it. Yes, I know that. It's about the size of Texas. So Madagascar is 1,000 miles long and 350 miles wide at its widest point. Okay, so yeah, it's a big place. Yeah, it's Madagascar is 1,000 miles long and 350 miles wide. So it's not a huge country. I mean, it is, but yeah. I got a new subscriber in the last little bit. That's cool. I'm gonna pop in because I need to. Hi Josh. So, with that being said, so now you know that the island has a lot of people living on it. You know that how big of an island this is. 96% of the lemur population, 96% of lemur species are facing extinction. And I mention this because one of the hardships facing lemurs is habitat loss. And I mean, this is a problem throughout the globe. And we see this in a lot of different species. But it's a problem and it's a problem because the people have to live, and not everybody in Madagascar is rolling in money. And so, yeah. I don't know what the average income is. I wish I did. Now we're going to look at some reasons why this animal is extinct. And we'll go from there. So I've already talked about that habitat loss is an issue. Habitat destruction why when I want something, do I only find pictures? It's a thing. It is a thing. I don't want to adopt one. Okay, this is what I want. Okay, so along with chopping down the forest to make way for people to live, they're also chopping down forest to make charcoal, for firewood, and farming purposes, because you have to be able to raise crops. They're also coming into a problem where they are making pets out of them. And that's a problem because lemurs are cute. So why wouldn't you want one as a pet? Right? No, doesn't work that way. So there are many reasons why these animals are endangered. Right, because it's a wild animal. One of the things that they're doing, at least amongst WWF, is community education. So they want to educate people on a local level and on a national level that these animals are important, that these animals have a place to live. They are working on setting rules up so that these animals cannot be taken in as pets, which would be a big step forward. Because if you make it illegal, then people can't do it. They want people to support people's livelihoods. So they designed an arboretum, which is like a garden of sorts. They're helping to build infrastructure for sanitary processing, advertising, providing cook stoves, cooking pans to help reduce the amount of wood that's needed. People could. So next, we need to look at okay. I love when I go to do something and I can't find it. Okay, so some of the zoos that house ring-tailed lemurs are the Akron Zoo, the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo, the Porter Park Zoo, Sunset Zoological Park. Yeah. There's a lot of zoos that actually house them. Oh, my legs. Whoops. Okay, so I don't know if this is globally or if this is all over the world, but there are, as of November 2007, there were 2,130 individuals. The AZA records indicate that the ring-tailed lemur first came into captivity around 1900. The EAZA, which I think is the European zoos, they entered the area there between 1950 and 1960. In Australia, they did not get ring-tailed lemurs until 1970s. And they didn't breed until 1976. So, one of the issues that they have, because this animal has been in captivity for so long, is we don't have very good records. In Australian zoos, they can trace the animals back to the wild. Yeah, there's a lot of zoos that have them. It's just, I don't know which zoos have them. They do occur within several protected areas in Madagascar, which is very cool. Popularity has become popular. There is a lemur conservation foundation in Florida and a Madagascar fauna group headquartered at the St. Louis Zoo. And they have a very high rate of reproduction. And so it is hoped that reintroduction will be possible if they experience a drop in population. So if it crashes, they have the ability to send animals there. However, it says that captive release is not currently being considered. That may have changed. I don't know. They are basically vegetarians, but not completely. They will eat insects and spiders, cicadas, that sort of stuff. Yeah. Now, in the wild, these guys live for about 16 years. In captivity, they can live up to 18 years. In some places, even up to 34 years. Males, 20 years. So, there is that. If you want to know more, there's more information out there. But, okay, so some things that are being done to save these guys. Protecting habitats. So if we can't save them, it does us no good to protect the lemurs if they don't have a habitat to live in. So they do have, the WWF is working with local communities to protect the lemurs, which is a big deal. A really big deal. They are reforesting lemurs. They have planted, one of these organizations is called SOS Lemurs, and they have planted over 2 million trees. The Wilder Institute works with local communities in Madagascar to plant trees, and they even work with them to improve local livelihoods. So they may be paying people to do that. Anti-poaching. Global Wildlife Conservation supports anti-poaching efforts to protect lemur populations. SOS Lemurs provides a hotline for people to report wildlife crimes against lemurs. Ecotourism, the GWC, which is the Global Wildlife Conservation, supports ecotourism on Madagascar to protect lemurs. Different zoos, of course, have captive breeding going on. There is research going on. IUCN's Species Survival Commission has released strategies to conserve lemurs and their habitats. Local communities are getting involved. As we've talked about before, they're being trained to work with lemurs, to learn their preferences as far as food goes, and to do behavior histories. So there is definitely stuff going on to protect them. Now let's talk about how you can help. And I always hate doing this because it always seems like money is involved. And I don't think that's cool. It shouldn't be that way, but it is sometimes. So One of the ways you can do it is by becoming a member of the LCN. I have no idea what that is. There is a World Lemur Festival that you can go to their store and buy. You can do business memberships, Zoom memberships. Certain zoos, if you become members of them, they support conservation. You can become a conservation member and support organizations that conserve wildlife, such as the Lemur Conservation Project. You can volunteer. You can spend 2 weeks in Madagascar, 2 weeks to a year, volunteering to support lemur conservation. Learn and share. Know a little bit about the animals. Learn about them. The last Friday of October is World Lemur Day, so you can learn about that. Learn about lemurs. Visit your local zoo. Learn from the keepers there. Ask questions. Share about lemurs on social media, like I'm doing. It works. Do not, now this is something you should not do. If you think or you suspect that an lemur or any animal is any wild animal is a pet, do not share those images. Okay, because that can lead to more animals being taken from the wild. So don't do that. Don't share any photos that show lemurs in close contact with people, or lemurs that may be in clothing or on clothing. You can also go to Madagascar and see lemurs, because tourism helps the economy, provides jobs for local people, and so on and so on and so forth. The Duke Lemur Center in North Carolina has 14 species of lemur, and they have the world's largest. They have the world's largest and most diverse population of lemurs outside of Madagascar. There is a web browser that if you search on it, 80% of the profits donated to plant trees. Don't buy rosewood. Don't buy rosewood furniture. Rosewood comes, yes, all species of lemur come from Madagascar. Rosewood is an endangered tree species, and it comes from Madagascar. Don't buy it. It is heavily logged to create furniture, so don't buy rosewood furniture. And of course, lower your carbon footprint. I want to make sure that I've covered all my bases. So I'm going to switch to Sunday's Live, because I think Sunday's Live was the last one I did, where so there are way more species of lemurs that exist out there in the wild. And we may or may not cover all of them, but then again, we might. But that's a little bit about the lemur. It only took us 30 minutes, which isn't bad. Yes, you can. And I suggest doing it. That way you can stay educated. And there is nothing wrong with that at all. Oops. Okay. Yeah, so make sure that you take time to go in. I have no problem with people going in and educating themselves. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Our next live on this channel is going to be, believe it's not quite as exciting as this. No, it's not. So we have a long gap, my people. Hold on. We have a long gap where we have nothing but in my collections. We have almost a month. No, wait, that's not true. Sunday, Thursday, Sunday, Thursday. So we have 2 weeks before we will do another conservation spotlight. And this time we're focusing on an animal from the United States. On September 29th, we will do the black-footed ferret, which, if you don't know, is a really cute animal. Check out the Bronx Zoo's webcams. They have one for them. We will be doing North American in my collection, Australian in my collection, which probably will also feature Antarctica animals, Asia in my collection, and then sea mammals in my collection. So that's a lot of stuff. And we have some really cool things that are popping up on the other channel. We are going to be doing Is It Alive? And that sounds really dorky, but basically we're talking about how does science determine if something is alive or not. And then we're going to talk about how and why you should not feed animals. And I may have already talked about that, but you know, repetition is how we learn. So if I'm repetitious about that, it must mean that it's important. So then Memphis Zoo to Do is coming up, as well as talking about the Eastern Massasauga and Learn to Care Blue Whale. So a little bit of something for everybody coming up. I miss Josh. Somebody, I don't know if somebody just came in or if YouTube decided to work. We are really quickly approaching a milestone on this channel, guys. Although this channel's growth tends to be a little bit slower than the other. But, and I don't know why it did that. But, as of, darn it, we are at 94 subscribers, 3.9 thousand views, 32.3 watch time hours. And that number fluctuates. And we only have 150 public watch hours. Now, that being said, this channel doesn't have a lot of videos. So if you have an idea for extra videos, please let me know. The different types of videos that we can feature, let me know, because I'd like to do something about that. I can't do memberships or supers or shopping, anything until we get numbers up. And I know you guys see me a lot. But that's okay because people like me, I think. Maybe. So content. Let's see what is popping and what is not. I was surprised to see that some of our shorts that we've done over the past little bit, Megacerops, predators from the time of Megacerops. This is a short, Carol. 514 views. The tallest and heaviest megafauna of the past. 31 views, but no likes. Early humans hunted what? 254 views and 3 likes. Their burrows talking about meerkats. 92 views, 1 like. Meerkat facts. 172 views and 3 likes. It Eats What? Talking about the jaguar. 53 views. Jaguar maturity, gestation, and cubs. 71 views. Other cool animals from the Himalayas. 107 views. Another video, I'm not sure what it was. 134 views. Spinosaurus, 201 views. So, overall, not too terribly bad, I guess. They do. They do like dinos. Now, I'm not sure where this thing... I need to go. I need to do something really quick. I'm glad they like dinos. History. I need to see that channel because I forgot what they said to do. Oh, yeah. It's really crazy. Yeah. Because I'm sure it's quite possible that Godzilla has been around way longer than that, maybe? Godzilla is one of those creatures that when you make a movie, you never know how it's going to go. But I hooked my nephews on it for a while. Um, um, I don't know. Wait, go back. Oh, I'm so dumb sometimes. I'm trying to remember. I know it's manga now. Yeah. But then you have to look at what time. The first Godzilla movie was out October 27th in 1954 in Nagoya, and it went nationwide November 3rd, 1954. I'll be right back. Hold down the fort till I get back. I need to look at something. Sorry, y'all. I apologize. I shouldn't have left. But trying to figure out. I'm going to mute you guys for a second. Yeah, it's about the same time. Okay, let's see. Oh.
This time on Nature Guy Expert 6 presents.
Content. That's weird. So now if you visit my YouTube channel, the actual page, it's going to ask you if you want to subscribe. And I think it'll do it every time that you enter the page. I believe. No. That's weird. Yep.
Hey Nature Peeps, today we are talking about the O, this time on Nature Guy Expert 6 presents.
Not a problem, Carol.
Oops.
You can go.
On my other channel, we have already talked about this animal, and now it's this channel's turn. This animal not only looks alien, but they are.
Thanks for coming in. Yep. Bye-bye.